Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Lucy Rex, and this is Legends Summarized, The Journey to the West Part 2. We saw the Part 1 some time ago. This is a great story about some monkey king who basically, gets lots of power, and, he encounters some of the magical stuff that makes him even more powerful. Then, he just goes out of control. Buddha intervenes. Now he's under a mountain or something like that. This is where the second part comes. Apparently, he's not the main guy from the story. Hopefully the main guy will be introduced in this one. Journey actually begins. Sure hope this doesn't take another 83 chapters. Oh wait. Okay, wait a minute. What? Does it take 83? This is 83 chapters? Sun Wukong is back and better than ever, or worse, depending on your point of view. He's getting up to shenanigans again, which is generally pretty problematic. But you know what? He's doing stuff, and that's the important thing. I guess the main character will be introduced here, but I guess we'll see. Alright, let's watch this one. I wrote quite a few Wally Sarcastic production videos already. If you haven't seen them, check out the cards as a playlist. Check out for it. Check out the playlist too, like Real Life Lore, because that in a nutshell, CGP Grey, Internet Historian. And let's watch this one.
Last time on the journey to the west, the mischievous Monkey King Sun Wukong, after achieving immortality 6 ways from Sunday, was brought down by the forces of heaven and placed inside Lao Tzu's brazier of the 8 trigrams to be rendered down into an immortal elixir. However, our hero proved too powerful for this scheme and broke free, wreaking even more havoc in heaven. But his reign of terror was abruptly ended when he was imprisoned by the heavenly Buddha beneath the 5 Phases mountain, where he must now wait for a chosen someone to come set him free. So Buddha returns to his home, the Thunderclap Monastery, where he spends a relaxing 500 years writing up 3 baskets of scripture. Now, these 3 scriptures are apparently so powerful that they are capable of redeeming even the most sinful of sinners. Well, sounds fishy to me, but hey, I'm not the guy with the universe in the palm of his hand. So these amazeballs scriptures need to be delivered to the land of the East in order to spread Buddhism to the sinful folk who live there. But there's just one problem. For some reason, Buddha can't deliver them himself, so they need to find someone in the land of the East who can make the journey to the Western Heaven to pick up the scriptures and then return with them. Our friend the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin volunteers to find such a person, and after receiving 5 magical artifacts to give to the scripture pilgrim, she goes off eastward to find someone worthy of making the journey to the West.
Roll credits.
So Kuan Yin and her disciple Moksha head out along the route the scripture pilgrim will have to take, as a way to test the waters and make sure the guy can make it through in the first place. Their first encounter with a murderous river spirit 3 minutes out from the Thunderclap Monastery is not exactly encouraging. But Kuan Yin persuades the guy to chill out and wait for the pilgrim, and then to join and aid him on his quest, with the added bonus that he'll be redeemed for the crime that got him exiled to the river in the first place. He accepts the offer and is given the name Sha Wu Ching, or Sandy for short. Don't ask me how Sandy is short for Sha Wu Ching. So Kuan Yin and Moksha continue on their merry way, whereupon they encounter a pig demon wielding a huge rake. He and Moksha fight for a little bit until he notices Kuan Yin and immediately stops the fight in favor of asking her for forgiveness, because he's made something of a habit of eating people who come along the road. Because he's a demon. Kuan Yin again suggests that he join the pilgrim too when he comes along this way and thus be forgiven for the whole eating people thing. And the pig agrees, and Kuan Yin is putting this pilgrim in pretty questionable company. Kuan Yin gives him the name Chu Wu Neng, Pigsy for short, and heads off, leaving Wu Neng to remain strictly vegetarian until the pilgrim arrives. So they continue onwards when, surprise, they encounter yet another charming individual who could potentially help our as yet nebulous pilgrim. Can you tell that this story is the origin of a lot of anime tropes? In this case, our colorful character is a young dragon who accidentally set fire to his dad's palace a little, and for this transgression against fire safety has been sentenced to death by the Jade Emperor. Kuan Yin persuades the Emperor to pardon the young dragon, and then she directs him to a nearby river, where she instructs him to turn into a white horse when the pilgrim passes by to help him reach his destination. Anyway, they continue on, only to encounter an unexpected
They are really trying to help this pilgrim, huh? By turning all this monster. This is interesting story so far. It's a bit creative than I would have thought. I would have thought they just went to the pilgrim and pilgrim just start his journey or something like that.
unexpectedly luminous mountain, the mountain of 5 phases, and with it the imprisoned Monkey King. So Wukong's like, Kuan Yin, how's it going, girl? Great to see you. It's been really lonely for the past 500 years, Nobody ever comes by to visit. And Kuan Yin's like, yeah, that's great. Listen, I'm about to go find someone to make a pilgrimage for me. He'll be coming by soonish. He's gonna release you from this mountain, and then you need to help him get where he's going. You got that? And Wukong's like, 10-4, good buddy. Yep, I am just all about that virtuous mission. So Kuan Yin and Moksha arrive in the city of Chang'an and disguise themselves so as not to attract too much attention. Then they set about finding the right monk to serve as the protagonist to this little adventure. Speaking of protagonist, here's where the book veers off into a tangent to describe the ludicrously convoluted family history of this dude, Xuanzang, who, in case you hadn't already guessed, is our soon-to-be protagonist. Now, Xuanzang has one of the most complicated family histories in all of epic protagonistdom. I won't recount the whole thing here because that would take all day, but basically he's the grandson of an emperor, he's been raised as a monk his whole life after being Mosesed by his mother, and he's the reincarnation of Golden Cicada, an original disciple of the Buddha and a holy being. So Xuanzang is basically the best guy ever, and a total sweetheart, despite the wacky circumstances of his birth. So long story short, 3 court officials convene to select a worthy monk for reasons completely unrelated to Kuan Yin's mission, selection, and of course they select Xuanzang, the biggest Boy Scout in all of ancient China. Anyway, Kuan Yin catches wind of this and goes to see if he's worthy of being the scripture pilgrim. She finds her way to the court officials and gives them 2 of the various gifts the Buddha had given her to give to the pilgrim so that they might give them to the most virtuous monk they know. So Xuanzang gets a beautiful robe and a priestly staff, both courtesy of Kuan Yin, and Kuan Yin learns that Xuanzang is the best man for the job. So the Grand Mass, which is the thing that they selected Xuanzang for, happens, wherein Xuanzang has to present a memorial to the Tang Emperor. Kuan Yin takes the opportunity to steal the show by revealing herself in all her glory to the court, and officially requests a volunteer from the audience to go on the pilgrimage to go to the Western Heaven and retrieve the Tripitaka, which is the official name for the thing the Buddha made. Xuanzang obviously volunteers, just as planned, and Xuanzang is given the by-name Tripitaka and sent on his merry way with a horse and 2 attendants to help him. Don't get too attached to them, though, as the party is captured by demons almost immediately and Tripitaka's 2 attendants are killed and eaten. Great start. So the demons finish their attendant buffet and bunker down for the night, leaving poor Tripitaka to ponder his exciting future as lunch meat, when suddenly a mysterious old man appears out of nowhere and frees him, and Tripitaka's like,
"Where the heck did you come from?"
And the old man's like, "Don't ask stupid questions, here's your horse." So Tripitaka and the old man zip out of the cave, and Tripitaka goes to thank him, only to find that he's vanished, leaving a note explaining that he was the gold star of Venus himself, providing a helpful bit of divine intervention. So Tripitaka goes on by himself for about half a day, only to discover that he really doesn't have the constitution for all this questing nonsense, and he and his horse are just about done with everything, when who should come to the rescue but a friendly, boisterous hunter named Po Chin, who spooks all the beasties that were harassing Tripitaka and offers to guide him to his home. So Po Chin and his family have Tripitaka over for dinner, which is slightly awkward because Tripitaka is extremely vegetarian and Po Chin's family hunts all their food, but they handle it gracefully, and Tripitaka further endears himself to the family when he...
Alright, in this he's talking way too fast and past scenes, but damn, this is a bit weird story. First of all, Buddha sends those other 2 to find someone who's willing to do all this journey, and I don't think Buddha told them to, find the other people who'd help them along the way, so she just found these demons and told them to help this guy, and then apparently she found this guy and told him to make the journey, and he's really not suitable for the journey. Apparently he's getting captured, somebody has to rescue them, then he just gets scared and run off, and yeah, this is a bit of weird journey. I thought the protagonist would be more like, a bit of badass or something like that, but okay.
He accidentally pacifies the ghost of Po Chin's father, like you do, which prompts Po Chin to offer to guide Tripitaka to the mountain on the border of the Tang Empire to ensure no further hijinks ensue. Did somebody say hijinks? So as it turns out, the mountain they get to is none other than 5 Phases Mountain, where our good buddy Sun Wukong is still languishing. So Wukong's like, "Yo, kid, you that pilgrim guy? Kuan Yin said you'd be coming by to let me out." And Tripitaka's like,
"Awesome. How do I do that? That mountain looks kind of heavy."
And Wukong's like, "You just gotta climb to the top and peel off the golden seal."
Aww.
So Tripitaka manages to get the seal off the mountain, and after he backs off to the minimum safe distance, Wukong breaks the mountain in half and zips on over. So Tripitaka and Sun Wukong continue westward together, but they've hardly gone 10 feet down the road when suddenly they're beset by bandits. So Wukong's like, "Don't worry, master, I know exactly what to do in this situation," and proceeds to kill all the bandits with his trusty stick thing. But Tripitaka's like,
"Son, we don't kill people."
And Wukong's like, "I think you mean you don't kill people." And Tripitaka's like,
No, you're Buddhist now. Buddhists do not kill."
And Wukong's like, "Ooh, look at Mr. Big Shot over here telling me who I can and can't kill," and storms off in a huff, which, if you'll recall his not inconsiderable mobility, means the Monkey King is over the horizon before poor Tripitaka can get a retort out. So Tripitaka heads off on his own for a bit when he runs into a mysterious old woman holding a fancy shirt and cap. So the old lady's like, "Hey, what's the matter, kid? You look like our superpowered disciple just totally ditched you or something." And Tripitaka's like,
"You got it in one, mysterious old woman. If only I had some way to discipline him. Maybe the story could actually progress."
And the old woman's like, "Funny you should say that. May I recommend that you give him these fancy duds, then recite this spell? I have this weird feeling that it'll stop causing so much trouble if you do." And Tripitaka's like,
"Seems legit."
Then the old lady turns into a beam of light and vanishes because she was really Kuan Yin. So thus far, Tripitaka's 2 for 2 for old people secretly being gods. Meanwhile, Wukong is off having a nice little tea party with a dragon.
Yeah, okay. What I don't understand is, so far, this protagonist, every time he encounters any kind of an obstacle, some god has to intervene and help him out. So why not just, keep him along and walk with him all the way with a guard or something and just protect him if that's the case. If he's needed just to carry the scrolls, why not just, go there and tell him, "Here's a scroll, take them and walk with me," and just walk all the way there, because that's what you're doing anyway. Anytime he encounters any kind of issue, some guard comes and help him out. I mean, they already know that this guy's gonna suck or something because they were, taking demons and turning them in order to help him or something like that. I mean, this is a weird story. When I thought, the main protagonist is gonna come, I thought he was gonna be more, first of all, he was a monk, so I don't know, so he was gonna be somewhat wise and experienced, somewhat of a badass or something like that. But no.
with the Dragon Emperor, who suggests that he go back to Tripitaka rather than abandoning enlightenment and true immortality over a single argument. Wukong zips back westward, blowing past Kuan Yin in the process, who'd flown over in order to convince him of that very course of action. So Wukong warps back to Tripitaka, who offers him the clothes. Wukong, always a sucker for a new wardrobe, throws them on, finding that they fit him perfectly. He's rather less thrilled to discover that the hat is cursed, and when Tripitaka recites the spell Kuan Yin taught him, it shrinks and gives him a splitting headache. Of course,
Yeah, okay. First was she gave the monk all those, clothes and whatever the thing the Monkey King is wearing. Even though the Monkey King wasn't there, he ran off. So I think she was probably gonna go back and tell the Monkey King to, go back and do his job. But apparently that dragon already told him. So, that's why I think he passed her on the way to go back, I guess.
it wouldn't be much of a cursed artifact if he could take it off, so it's also spot welded to his head. After a few very entertaining minutes of Wukong trying furiously to escape the hat by any means necessary, he eventually resigns himself to the fact that he won't be able to get up to his usual hijinks anymore. So the dynamic duo continue onwards with the balance of power now tilted slightly more evenly, and it doesn't take long before they arrive at a nice
Wait a minute, I have to read that once again. Wait, why can't you just fly as that? My cloud only carries the pure of heart. Really? No.
Continue onwards with the balance of power now tilted slightly more evenly, and it doesn't take long before they arrive at a nice calm stream that happens to be home to an enormous fuck you dragon. Wukong nopes the hell out of there with Tripitaka in tow, and the dragon takes the opportunity to eat Tripitaka's horse. So Tripitaka freaks out since without a ride he's stranded, but he's also too scared to let dragon. Wukong nopes the hell out of there with Tripitaka.
Okay. So the dragon eats the horse. Wait a minute, wasn't dragon supposed to be the horse? I think she told the dragon to be turn into horse or something.
In tow, and the dragon takes the opportunity to eat Tripitaka's horse. So Tripitaka freaks out since without a ride he's stranded, but he's also too scared to let Wukong leave him alone. But a bit of timely divine intervention arrives to protect Tripitaka, leaving Monkey free to confront the dragon. So they fight it out for a bit, but the dragon's like screw it and dives to the river bottom and refuses to come out. Wukong does some magic shenanigans and draws the dragon out again, only for the dragon to turn into a water snake and run away. At this point, Wukong is done, but the local mountain spirits tell him that this dragon is actually under orders by Kuan Yin to help them. So one of the heavenly spirits goes and gets her, and after a brief digression where Wukong vents at her about the cursed hat thing, she draws out the dragon, and Wukong picks a fight with him, too. Look, he's had a trying day, alright? Anyway, Kuan Yin gets the dragon to turn into a horse for Tripitaka to replace the one he ate, and then, to make Wukong stop sulking, she gives him 3 get-out-of-danger-free magical leaves. So now, with the matter having been resolved to everyone's satisfaction, our dynamic trio continue westward.
Yeah, that totally makes up for the loss of my freedom. Yeah, that is so true. I mean, I knew the dragon was supposed to turn into a horse or something. I always wanted a horse who could eat me. Look at that nervous look and that horse like, oh, you just wait a minute.
So anyway, they continue on and arrive at still yet another monastery, run by a sketchy old monk. Long story short, the monk lays eyes on that really fancy monk robe Tripitaka got way back when, it's called a cassock by the way, and takes it into his head to steal it, and to that end he decides the best way to go about it is to burn down his own monastery. Well, that's not very zen of him. So Wukong smells the smoke, weighs his options, and decides the best way to solve the situation without pissing off Tripitaka is to let the monks burn their monastery to the ground. But first he borrows a fireproof cloak from one of his heavenly buddies to make sure Tripitaka and the horse don't burn with it. Is it just me, or is Monkey on shockingly good terms with all the people he beat the hell out of in the last video? The fire eventually burns itself out, and Tripitaka finally wakes up, only for them to find out that during all the confusion, a mountain demon came by and stole the cassock. Also, the patriarch monk killed himself. So anyway, Wukong zips on over to the demon's mountain and they fight, but the demon calls a lunch break and locks himself in his mountain. So Wukong zips back to the ruined monastery for snacks, then returns to the mountain to sneak in. So Wukong disguises himself as the old monk and has a little tea party with the mountain demon, and then they fight more, but the demon runs away again, and Wukong decides to call in the cavalry. He goes to Kuan Yin, and together they figure out another way to sneak in and get the cassock back. Kuan Yin disguises herself as a Taoist friend of the demons, and Monkey King disguises himself as a present from that friend, a pill of immortality. Long story short, Wukong beats up the demon from the inside, ew. Kuan Yin retrieves the cassock, and Wukong returns it to Tripitaka, and they continue on their merry way. Will Sun Wukong learn to value friendship over his impulsive desires? Will Tripitaka succeed in his quest to the Thunderclap Monastery? Will that stupid horse ever remember he can fly? Find out next time on Journey to the West.
Yeah. I mean, that's something, isn't it? The Monkey King is so badass that basically that demon was just running away. So he literally had to turn into a pill so he could kill the demon from inside. That is just ridiculous. Man, this story is a bit, turning out differently than I thought, I thought it was just simple, plain out the protagonist is just badass, but that's not the case. Gods are constantly intervening, so I guess, like I said originally, what was the point of giving him the scroll and just telling him to do the journey? I guess walk besides him. A god is walking besides him. I mean, there's not going to be an issue, is it? So yeah. Alright, people, that was Journey from the West, Journey to the West Part 2. If you like my reaction of food, like and subscribe. Check out the reason I did this link in the description. Check out the cast playlist. Check out the end cards, and I'll see you next time.